What's up, fellow Crash fans? Crash Fan 2001 here, and welcome back to another review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the Motorcycle Crash and Biker Coco Resaurus figures. These figures were released together in a double pack back in 1999 and were part of the Series 2 Crash Bandicoot line. Now, these figures are extremely rare. They are very, very hard to get a hold of, so I'm very fortunate enough to own these and be able to show these off to you guys today. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the accessories. So, like I said, these figures were released in a double pack together, so they came with various accessories that included a clear gem, an Aku Aku mask, some sunglasses, and a stand to display the figures on. So, let's go ahead and show off some of these accessories here. So, first off, we have the clear gem. Nothing too special about it, it's just a standard clear gem. Giant piece of plastic. A lot of the Series 2 figures, I think all of them came with gem accessories. The Series 1 figures came with crystal accessories. But the next accessory we have here is an Aku Aku mask. Now, this one here is pretty interesting because it is actually rubber, so it bends. And on the back here, there's actually a hole, so you can actually put this on Crash's nose, which is pretty neat. Now, I do believe there is another variant of this mask, but in hard plastic. I'm not too sure, but if any of you guys know, feel free to let me know in the comments below. But yeah, that's the Aku Aku mask, pretty cool. I mean, it is rubbery, so chances are the paint will chip off if you bend it too much, so you might want to be careful with that. The next accessory we have here are a pair of sunglasses. So, as we all know, Motorcycle Crash wears some pretty neat shades, and these shades here are just basically plastic, no reflective lenses or anything like that, but the sunglasses themselves actually look kind of bent. I don't know if it's supposed to be this way, but I did get these figures used, so there might be a little bit of wear here and there, but yeah, there's the sunglasses, pretty neat. They just go right onto Crash's face there. You kind of have to force them on a little bit. But the last accessory is a Crash Bandicoot stand, which is right here. I'm using it to display Coco on because she's very top heavy. But yeah, that pretty much does it for all the accessories. Let's go ahead and check out the figures themselves. So the first figure we're going to be taking a look at is Biker Crash, and as you can see, I have his sunglasses on. You basically just have to, kind of push them on. But let's go ahead and take a look at the figure itself. So I'll go ahead and do a little spin around here. So as you can see, he's got his iconic biker outfit on. It's pretty cool. They did a really good job at capturing this outfit, to be honest. As you can see here on the back, he's got the giant C logo. He's got his shorts on, shorts or jeans. They kind of look like a mix in between, to be honest. And his black shoes. And like I said, he's got his sunglasses, which those just pop off and back on. But in terms of articulation, this figure doesn't have a whole lot of it to offer. I mean, his arms, they do move up and down at the elbows, and his wrists, they do swivel around. But this figure in particular, his arms are kind of loose, so as you can see here, it takes little to no effort to knock his arms down. And the problem with Resaurus Crash figures is that their arms actually come off really easily. This one actually broke in the box, but it just snaps back on, so nothing too major, honestly. But yeah, his wrists do swivel around, and as you can see on his knuckles, he's got some braces, I believe. I don't know what those are actually called, but they're still pretty cool nonetheless. And in terms of leg articulation, his knees actually do move back and forward, so that's pretty neat. I mean, you can display him by just adjusting his legs. His other knee does that as well. His left leg actually moves completely. I don't know if that's supposed to be a thing. This leg here does not move at all. I don't know if this figure has been broken before, because Crash Bandicoot in particular, the figures, they break at the legs a lot, so I don't want to mess with that too much. I mean, it could be an actual feature because it kind of feels like it's supposed to move, but in terms of feet, no form of movement in the feet whatsoever. And underneath the feet here, there's actually some holes, so if you have any stands, you can actually plop them onto a stand. But honestly, he stands just fine without him. I mean, you just have to kind of position him like that, and he'll stand perfectly fine. But yeah, in terms of, design, this figure is actually pretty neat. I mean, not a whole lot of articulation going on, like I said, but in terms of design, they nailed it spot on, and I think it's a really neat figure. But yeah, that pretty much does it for Biker Crash. The last figure we're going to be looking at is Biker Coco. Now, this figure is pretty interesting because Biker Coco wasn't actually a thing in-game. She was only used in the box arts for Warped and a few posters for Warped. So if you take a look at the PAL cover of Warped, for example, you can barely see it, but Coco was actually in her biker outfit, which is pretty neat. I thought it was pretty cool that they actually threw in her biker outfit for this bundle. They could have just thrown in Crash with his motorcycle or something, but I think Biker Coco is a nice addition. But without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at Biker Coco. So as you can see, she has her white top on, her black skirt, and her black heels. And I have her on a stand because she is very, very top heavy. She won't stand on her own, so you pretty much need a stand to display her on. And speaking of stands, I'll go ahead and show you guys the Crash stand here. So as you can see, it's basically just a standard Crash Bandicoot Resaurus stand and nothing too special about it. And this is a one-pegged one, so even with a one-peg stand, it is actually still kind of difficult to display her. So basically what I would recommend is just to push her foot down and make sure she's in all the way, and just adjust her so that she's stable. But yeah, Coco's kind of a pain to display, but when you get it right, it's pretty neat. But without further ado, let's go ahead and actually check her out. So in terms of articulation, again, there isn't a whole lot of it to offer. I mean, her head does move around, her hair even moves around a little bit. Her front ponytail here actually rotates all the way around, but the joint is kind of tight, so I don't want to mess with it too much. Her back ponytail moves side to side, and her arms, they actually move back and forward, so she doesn't have any wrist swiveling or anything like that. And her legs, they do move back and forward like that. These joints are kind of tight as well, so I don't want to mess with them too much either. Basically, Coco is pretty fragile. I mean, her head is especially fragile because her neck is very thin, so if you put too much pressure or too much force onto the neck, it will actually snap. So yeah, definitely be careful with your Coco figures because they break very, very easily. Underneath her feet here, she has two holes as well, so you can display her on a stand as well. I recommend a double stand because, I mean, the single stand, it works, but it's just not as stable. But yeah, that pretty much does it for Biker Coco. Like I said, not a whole lot of articulation, and I just think it's pretty interesting that they threw in this figure anyway, because Biker Coco isn't really known about, honestly. I mean, she's in, you know, promo stuff for Warp, so that's pretty neat. But yeah, that pretty much does it for Biker Coco. So that pretty much wraps up the review. I hope you guys did enjoy this review. If you did, feel free to drop a like and subscribe for more future content. Also, comment down below if you actually own these figures. If you do, consider yourself very, very lucky because these things are super hard to get a hold of. Like I said in the intro, I'm very fortunate to own these figures, and I'm going to take great care of these things. Originally, I wanted to get a hold of them sealed, but it's so hard to find them at all. I mean, I just had to settle with used, but hey, I have the figures, they're pretty cool. In terms of articulation, they don't have a whole lot of it to offer, but I mean, they're more of a display piece anyway. I mean, Resaurus figures, they break really easily, so they're not really meant to be played with. I don't know why they sent them out into production as toys. I mean, they're very, very fragile, but I mean, what can you do? These things were only $5 back then, but nowadays they skyrocket in price. But yeah, like I said, guys, if you enjoyed the review, feel free to drop a like and subscribe for more future content. I've been Crash Fan 2001, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, guys.